It was a crazy day in court, and we heard from a bunch of different people, like photo experts, Kate Moss, we heard from Johnny himself, and we even heard from TMZ, which is where I want to start, because TMZ kind of exposed Amber. You guys may remember when Amber went to file for divorce, there were a bunch of paparazzis waiting for her outside the courthouse, and she tried to play this off like the paparazzi just ended up there.
Okay. Stop.
Did Johnny brutalize you?
Stop.
Amber?
But we all know that this wasn't by chance, and we actually heard a person from TMZ share that they were told and instructed to go and meet Amber there and to capture a bruise on her face.
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the Los Angeles courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Their objective was to capture her leaving the courthouse, and then she was going to sort of stop and turn towards the camera to display the bruise on the right side of her face, the alleged bruise.
Did your team of videographers get the shot of Amber Heard?
We did.
I actually loved this testimony from this TMZ employee because he didn't hold back. And you know what? Johnny's lawyers were kind to him. You know, he's pretty much on Johnny's side because he's testifying that, yes, Amber did go and instruct TMZ to meet them, and the video that was sent to TMZ, all of that, which we cannot play because it is super copyrighted. But then when Amber's lawyers went to go and question this man, they were not easy on him, and he did not like that. So he actually defended himself, and he stood up against Amber's lawyers. Her lawyer keeps going on and on that everyone wants this 15 minutes of fame, and he called her out on this.
If you don't have information that's helpful to this case, then you wouldn't be a witness, correct?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Sustained. Sustained. Next question.
I'm not a lawyer.
Okay, you know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
it? I can ask that question.
Overruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in the target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr. Depp's attorneys were well aware of the TRO that was going to be presented on May 27th?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Honestly, that is one of the most iconic testimonies, I think, ever. And honestly, I really hope TMZ doesn't go after him. Like, he doesn't deserve it. But I need to talk to you guys about Brian Neumeister. This man is a digital expert. He can figure out where photos were taken, how they were edited, and you guys know that Amber has presented a ton of evidence. I actually want to play a clip that talks a little bit about who Brian is and what his capabilities are.
They may be covering up evidence or wiping from a phone or a computer, and there's always breadcrumbs of some fashion that the evidence was there.
So what I want to find out on this particular phone is who this person has talked to. So I can look at every person this person has talked to and how their phone calls or texts or messages interact with each other.
Brian will rip through everything and actually show exactly at what time a person created a file and whether it was on that particular device, opened it, and loaded something on there.
So it seems like Brian knows what he's talking about. And it makes sense because it's not like Johnny's over here getting these cheap experts that are half-assed. Like, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. And when he was speaking about Amber Heard's photo evidence, he talks about them being edited through Photos 3.0 software, which you can edit the photos themselves or change up the metadata. Amber did not like this guy's testimony, and it's because it makes it seem like her evidence has been edited. And it's not like this is up for debate. There are receipts that he presented in court. Amber's lawyers tried to belittle this man and discredit him, but The data doesn't lie. And I'm actually glad that Brian Neumeister did defend himself, because there were points where, Amber's lawyers were like, answer this question. And he's like, I'm not answering the question because you guys are pushing a narrative and the question itself cannot be answered. Here are 3 versions of one very popular photograph that we have seen of Amber's. And I mean, maybe you can see some visual differences, but I think the point is to show that the sizing has changed and the name of the file has changed. Pretty much, Brian was there to testify that Amber's photos that have been submitted have been processed through programs and have different sizes and they don't align. It's interesting information because when you save a photo through a program, there's like a little X file or something that's attached to that photo. So it's you really can't escape that. And I know that this expert in particular was pretty frustrated that he didn't get these original raw images taken from the phone itself. But let's go ahead and move on to Kate Moss, because friggin' Kate Moss was there, and honestly, it's all Amber's fault. So when Amber was describing the incident between her sister Whitney and Johnny, where Johnny allegedly swung at Whitney, she mentioned that Kate Moss also had an incident between Johnny that was similar to this, which you can't just name drop and then expect to get away with it. Kate Moss claims she never had an incident like this with Johnny, and it really looks bad for Amber because no, she didn't have this experience, and you can't just make up a story about someone like Kate Moss, because she will show up in court and tell you what really happened.
Ms. Moss, did there come a time when you, while you and Mr. Depp were a couple, that the two of you took a vacation together to the Golden Eye Resort in Jamaica?
Yes.
What, if anything, happened when you were in Jamaica with Mr. Depp?
We were leaving the room, and Johnny left the room before I did, and there had been a rainstorm, and as I left the room, I slid down the stairs, and I hurt my back.
How did you...
And
I apologize, Ms. Moss. Please continue.
And I screamed because I was because I didn't know what had happened to me, and I was in pain, and he came running back to help me and carried me to my room and got me medical attention.
Did Mr. Depp push you in any way down the stairs?
No.
During the course of your relationship, did he ever push you down any stairs?
No, he never pushed me, kicked me, or threw me down any stairs.
As I mentioned earlier, Johnny also hit the stand, and he was really trying to push that he never did anything to Amber. And you guys know that Johnny speaks a little bit slow, so here's just a snippet. I might even speed it up a little bit, but here's what he had to say.
No human being is perfect, certainly not. None of us. But I have never in my life committed battery, physical, all these outlandish, outrageous stories of me committing these things and living with it for 6 years and waiting to be able to bring the truth out. So this is not easy for any of us. I know that. But no matter what happens, I did get here, and I did tell the truth, and I have spoken up for what I've been carrying on my back.
Okay, so thank you for that, Johnny. But if you guys watched my long video about the entire history of their relationship, you may remember that I brought up the fact that Amber got physical with her ex-partner, who is a woman. And this incident is something that Amber denies or, tries to act like was nothing. But this woman named Beverly was called to the stand. I have to mention that I do think it's weird that supposedly Beverly called Johnny's lawyers last night And now today she's on the stand, which is pretty like insane to me. I don't know how these things work, but I thought like everything was kind of planned ahead. Anyways, this is what this employee at the airport had to say about what she saw Amber get into.
Had grabbed her traveling companion and pulled something from her neck. At that point, I got up and went over to try to break up what appeared to be a fight. And I summoned a colleague to help me, and I stepped in between them and separated them, stopping any further injuries or escalation.
How would you describe the interaction between Ms. Heard and her traveling companion?
Ms. Heard was aggressive towards her traveling companion, and she had reached up and grabbed her arm and pulled a necklace off of her, and then I observed her having it in her hand. She seemed to be not very steady on her feet. Her eyes were blurry and watery, and I could smell alcohol.
What was Ms. Heard's traveling companion's reaction to being assaulted by Ms. Heard?
Objection, relevance?
And I'll sustain the objection.
On relevance?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What did Ms. Heard's traveling companion do?
She raised her hands in what appeared to be a defensive manner, but other than that, she was pretty stoic and didn't really respond much. Her stature was 2 or 3 inches taller than Ms. Heard, so she didn't really need to have to defend herself.
So that testify shows that yes, Amber can get physical and aggressive, and that person witnessed it, even though Amber's trying to sweep it under the rug. Anyways, I want to hear what you guys think about this entire day in court. It was so insane to watch live, and I wanted to do a quick summary of what I thought were really compelling moments. So until next time, I will see you guys in a new video soon. Here's my email. Send me some video ideas, okay? I'm trying to get some video ideas right here, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.